2-0. Excited about another opportunity this week to play at home again and a 3:30 kick. And the biggest thing I would say where we are right now in the season is really every week, especially at this point, is kind of a season of its own as we're developing our team and have an opportunity to play games and coach from those games and an opportunity to get better. But a lot of very, very positive things from the first two games, but also a lot of areas that we've got to get better in if we're going to reach our potential. So that's what it's all about. That's why I give you 12 games, and this is game 3. Again, we're very happy to be 2-0, but just excited to see us continue to work and see if we can keep improving. Next challenge is Georgia Southern, and this is an incredibly proud program. That's the first thing I would say about them. They've won 6 national championships at the 1AA level. They're kind of that App State that has moved up now to the Sun Belt Conference, and they've already won the Sun Belt Conference back in 2014. This is a team that has gone into the swamp and won. This is a team that went to Alabama a couple years ago and rushed for 300 and something yards. This is a team that went to Georgia in Athens, and they rushed for, I don't know, probably about the same, and I think they only lost by 6 points in Athens. This is a team that will not be intimidated that they're playing Clemson. All right, a very proud program. That's part of their culture. That's who they are at Georgia Southern, and so I'm excited. I've always had a lot of respect for Georgia Southern. When I was at Alabama, my recruiting area was kind of Augusta down to Savannah, all the way across the state. So I spent a lot of time in Statesboro. Signed a kid or two out of Statesboro, but in that area. But I used to go, and that would be one of the places I used to love to stay. I would stay in Statesboro. I'd go jog the campus at Georgia Southern. They had like a little lake there, and I used to go around there, and I'd be like, man, what a cool football town this is. I mean, you could just feel the tradition of Georgia Southern when you were in that town. There's a little barbecue joint. I can't remember what the name of it was, where Irk Russell used to always go. But I'd go to that little barbecue joint and eat. But I'd always try to make it a point to stay in Statesboro at least one of my nights, out traveling. And so really cool place, awesome school, and a lot of tradition. And I know they'll be excited. They got 7 guys from the state of South Carolina that are coming to play us offensively. They're a triple option team. Everybody runs any type of option. They kind of all have their own flavor, and they're a triple option, but they run a lot of split zone, a lot of zone read stuff, and their quarterback is their best player, and he's from Newberry. He's a kid we offered. He's a really, really good athlete, Wirtz, and we offered him as an athlete, and he wanted to go play quarterback at Georgia Southern, and man, he's their leading rusher, leading scorer. He just does an unbelievable job for them, and so they're 2-0. Coming off 2 very good wins, and they'll be excited to come in here and play us for sure. And then over on the other side, it's a little different. It's just kind of just the opposite of the Furman game. The Furman game, I felt like they had more experience on the offensive side, and this is just the opposite. They got 11 guys on defense that started at least 3 or 4 games last year. So a lot of guys that played a lot of football. Very impressive. They got some thumpers that will flat get after you on D. So they got a good scheme that matches their offensive scheme. So it's very complementary as far as how they want to play and how they want the game to be managed. So you got to be smart, because they do some unique things on defense with how they cheat the corners and trap the corners and play on the perimeter to try to talk you out of some of the things that look like are there, but they quickly dissolve just with their style of play. But a good group, and a couple things about their defense. They've given up 0 points in the fourth quarter, 2 games so far, so they've gotten better as the game has gone, and they've only given up 1 explosive play in 2 games. That's it. So big challenge there. Flip side of that, one of our positives is offensively, we've had 6 plays of 40 yards or more. All right, so in 2 games. And to put that in perspective, I think we only had 11 all year, last year, in 14 games. So it was a big emphasis, been a big emphasis for us to kind of be explosive offensively and kind of get that part back into our offense like we had 2 years ago. And so that's a real positive at this point. We're #1 in the nation when it comes to that. There's nobody in the country that's had 6 40-plus yard plays. So that's a positive. But, Georgia Southern's only given up 1 play of 20 yards. So, we got to try to find a way to continue to be explosive. But the main thing is fixing some mistakes and cleaning up our details and our execution. Got a good kicker, and that's kind of climbing up the record books for them. But at the end of the day, it's about cleaning up execution. It's about playing our best game and trying to grow our team as we get ready for conference play. This is a huge game for us to try to improve. I don't know what the weather's going to be. My thoughts and prayers go out to all the people who were in the path of this monster, and my prayers that the good Lord will just just do something to turn it, set it down, whatever, and that we won't have to deal with the type of devastation that it appears is coming for a lot of people. But thoughts and prayers with everyone involved. We've got players that are impacted by it, and we're going to do everything we can to help them and their families as people evacuate. I have no idea what's going to happen here. I have no clue. But our job is to get ready, and we will be ready.
Yeah, but you spoke about it a little bit. But how do you kind of balance trying to look after those players that might have relatives in the way, but also trying to get ready for a game?
Yeah, well, we have to. We have our set time that we have to prepare, and that's today. It starts at 2:10, and we have that time that we have to practice and get our meetings in and get ready for a ball game. But outside of that, we have to try to, and we talked about it yesterday, kind of went around the room, who could be impacted, and make sure they all know that we're here to help, and that there's some things that we can do, when people have to be evacuated and so forth. And we had it happen last year with Trayvon. His family came up here and stayed. We were able to help them with that. Just making sure that they know the resources that are available to them, and to communicate with us on what their needs are. That's the biggest thing, just communicating and making sure they know.
That the NCAA allows you to help?
Yeah. Yes.
What was your assessment of John Simpson and Stewart?
John did not play very well, and he was disappointed in his performance, and just technically didn't do some things. He had some great moments too. Man, he had one down on the goal line. We do a big hit video every Monday, and we do a not so good video, and then we do an extra effort video. It's kind of all combined when we come back in here on Mondays, and he did some good things, but he did not have a winning performance. We have a winning grade at every position, and he did not play up to his standard. And I don't have any doubt he'll bounce back this week, and we need him to. Just technically, he knew what to do. He didn't bust assignments or anything like that, but he just did not quite play as well as he did. Cade did a good job. Cade did a pretty good job. He hurt us on one. We probably we had Renfro wide open. I don't know if y'all remember the one Kelly kind of overthrew it. It was a change route, and he might have scored. And Kelly had to kind of rush the throw, and then he threw it a little high, but he had to throw over because they were just a simple twist. And Cade just, technically got his shoulders turned instead of staying square, and they ran just a ET twist, and the guy, he don't come off, and the guy comes free, and he's in Kelly's face, and now he kind of sails the ball a little high, and we miss a huge play in the game. And those are little things that lead to big things. And so, but he really did. It's been very encouraging. That's been quietly been a really strong battle going on between he and Pollard. And flip side, Pollard played well. He was our lineman of the week in our room, so he did some good things. Pollard, Ankrum, and Hyatt, I thought all played very well in the ball game. But you know, Cade is a guy we're excited about. I mean, he's just a sophomore and really getting his first big time experience. Had one bad play, but outside of that, I thought he did a good job.
Coach, in keeping with the offensive line, Inkrum's split time with Pollard at right tackle last year. Last week, he's offensive MVP against A&M. He goes toe-to-toe with the SEC sack leader from last year and holds his own. Is this what you're really hoping and expecting from him to start?
Yeah, he and Hyatt have really kind of solidified themselves. I mean, Tremaine has had I told him that yesterday. I'm really proud of him. He's had two really good games. Doing his job. He's playing physical. He's playing very smart. Very pleased with Tremaine.
Coach Kelly Bryant, in his performance on Saturday, set a tone. And is that a good teaching point for you to give to your players moving forward, how Kelly has accepted the responsibility and how he's reacted to his role?
Yeah, I just think that kind of speaks for itself. I mean, everything in life is about how you respond. And, you know, he's responded well. You know, both our quarterbacks did some good things, and both of them did some bad things. And we were not quite as consistent as we need to be at that position. And but I thought his leadership and his toughness and his poise down the stretch, no question. I mean, it was awesome, and it was exactly what we needed in that moment. So, you know, you gave us a chance to. I mean, we're up 21-6, and then we're up. You know, they score in 2 plays, and then we go right back down the field, bam, and answer 28-13, fourth quarter, two touchdown lead, and you know, we couldn't hold it. You know, give them a lot of credit, but we didn't complement each other very well. We picked each other up pretty good, but we didn't complement each other well. And you know, we want to play complementary football, but I thought Kelly did a great job of just being composed and poised and just playing well, focusing on your job when you play. And he's been great. He's been a true example to everybody that just stay focused on the things that you control.
When Georgia Southern was going to FBS, you know, they were going red hot, and they struggled for a year or two, and they're kind of back on track now.
Yep.
How close to back on track to where they were previously do you think they are at this point?
Well, we'll see. I mean, they're 2-0, and they're I think they got the best record in the Sun Belt. Maybe them and one other team. So they'll do fine. They'll be a team. They've just, like I said, they've got so much tradition in that program. It's not like there's some new football program. This is a team. To me, they're kind of like App State. You know, App State was a dominant 1AA program that moved up, and you know, eventually made the adjustment. Now you play App State, you better be ready. They're really good. And so I think Georgia Southern will be the same. I know they got a new coach and all that stuff, but they're doing kind of what they've always done, what people have embraced there at Georgia Southern, and I think they know exactly what they're looking for in the recruiting process. And I'd be very surprised if they're not one of the competitive teams in their league, you know, moving forward.
Is it a good thing that you've got Georgia Southern this week with that triple option and Georgia Tech the next week?
Well, I mean, I guess it is a good thing in that you know, you're having to. I mean, 3 of our first 4 games are option-oriented teams. Now, again, they're all really different. I mean, it's not like they all do the same things. I mean, they're option principal teams, but they kind of all have their flavor. So it's definitely not a negative that you're having to spend 2 of your first 3 games before you get into conference play, having to play option defense and the discipline that it takes. The flip side of that is you're not playing a lot of base defense, and that's one negative. And then the other one is well, Georgia Tech gets usually when we play Georgia Tech, they don't have a lot of film to study us, you know, because we really just play them once a year. Whereas now they've got some tape to study. So it's both. works both ways.
Do they cut as much as Georgia Tech on the offensive line?
You know, these guys, they don't cut as much. Their splits are like that big, really tight splits, but they're a little bit more zone principle, a little bit more. I mean, they run a lot of zone read, a lot of split zone stuff, but they don't cut quite as much.
Was there a point Saturday when it was decided that Kelly was going to be the quarterback for the rest of the team, or for the rest of the game, and who makes that decision? You, the coordinators?
Yeah, me and Streeter, we communicate on that all the time, and you know, it's. I mean, I want every coach's input on everything, but it just the flow of the game and where we were, and you know, it's like, you know what, hey, here's where we are, and we're gonna go with this guy that's he's been in these big moments, and I'm super proud of Trevor. I mean, this kid did a really good job. Like I said, both of them were a little inconsistent to our standard and what our expectation is, but. Kind of hard to start any better than that kid did, you know, to go out right out of the gate in a run-pass option and just throw an absolutely beautiful, perfect ball to give a guy like T a chance to make a play. And just disappointed that we didn't do some things around both quarterbacks a little better when we needed. I mean, we really only had 55 snaps in the game. I mean, that's the offense I played in. I mean, you got 50 snaps when I was playing, man. We were throwing a party. I mean, holy cow! And so it's just poor. We just didn't play with details. You know, our third down was poor, and because we weren't efficient on first and second down, and it's just that simple. Just a lot of missed opportunities. But we'll get better. We'll get better. I mean, that's why we play those games. I mean, hey, I wish I could tell you we could go to College Station and look like the you know, national championship version of Clemson at game 15, but that didn't happen. But you know what? We won. And we won a tough, gritty game with a million mistakes. We didn't turn it over. We didn't have a bunch of procedural issues. We fought. The effort of our team was awesome. I mean, I'm telling you, I can't overstate that enough. Just how hard our guys fought, and people have no idea what type of mental toughness it takes to overcome adversity on the road, and when all the momentum's going against you, to be able to just look it right in the eye and just keep fighting, and to just play the next play. I mean, I'm just really proud of our team for where we are right now. You know, we made way too many mistakes, but we're going to improve. That game right there, that's why we schedule those games. You know, we could have played Mary Poppins last week, and all right, we smash them, and we're 2-0, and everybody feels so good, and you know, but we went to College Station, and we played a team that had more 4 and 5 stars than us. Just go to the roster. Really talented team. And we really had one half of football to look at. That's really all we had. The rest of it, you know, I mean, it was a tough game to get ready for. And that quarterback, man, and I knew he was going to be. I told our staff, I said, boys, y'all better get ready, because they're destroying Northwestern State, and he's running a lead option, and he's 20 yards down the field, just diving, throwing his body. I'm like, this guy is not going to be an easy out. I'm just telling you. And he wasn't. Man, and we had him sacked probably 3 or 4 more times. And then they made some unbelievable play. Now we oh my Lord. I mean, we got guys running wide open. We're busting. We're supposed to be middle field coverage. He's down in the box. We're supposed to be playing man to man. We don't play man to man. We did some stupid stuff. All right. But the effort of our team was phenomenal. Phenomenal. The will to win. You can't, man, if you could bottle that up, man, it's unbelievable. So I'm really proud of that. And then they made some unbelievable plays. I mean, Isaiah Simmons, I mean, he's got a guy sacked dead to rights, but he goes inside shoulder instead of upfield shoulder, and the guy spins out and makes an unbelievable play in the end zone. We got tip balls, and guys are making touchdowns. I mean, that's ball. But the busted stuff we got to fix. But the effort, if we can get that effort week in and week out, we've got a chance to be a really good team. You know, we had a winning. We played winning football. We did not play championship football last week, and we've got to improve if we're going to end up having being a team that can achieve the next goal, and that's win a division championship. That's what's next for us. So I love how our team has come back to work this week. The clear eyes and ownership of mistakes made and what we got to do, and same thing as coaches. I mean, shoot, man. I mean, we got to do a better job. It's all of us. We all made mistakes in the ball game, and we all got to get better together.
Going back to Kelly, on that third down throw to Amari Rogers early in
Yep.
the game, the 64, it looked like either he was making a slide protection or a hot read or making a change at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
What did he do there? And then is Trevor getting to the point where he can do that? Because that
Yeah, we
obviously is a
checked the
very
play.
veteran move.
We checked the play.
Yeah.
We checked the play, and because of the call that we had, and so he had to communicate the call, and you know, we had a bang 8 flat combination in the boundary, and they're playing a 2 safety look, so that brings him over to the field, and just a beautiful throw and catch, and you know, it's 2 weeks in a row that Amari has made a huge play for us, so I'm really excited.